The May 2nd, 2019 Board of Public Works and Safety meeting. Roll call, please.
Ms. Gray, Mr. Margraf,
Here.
Mr. Long.
Here.
Any conflict of interest statements?
No, sir.
No. Approval of minutes of meeting of April 25th, 2019.
I recommend we waive the reading of the minutes, or approval of the minutes.
I'll concur. Correspondence, item A. Correspondence received from 3rd District Councilman Anthony Higgs requesting $17,376 of gaming funds be allocated for a supervision contract with Nice Engineering, Inc., and $188,934.36 of gaming funds be allocated for a construction contract with Grimmer Construction. The request has been signed by the councilman as well as the mayor.
I recommend we approve Councilman Higgs' request.
And I'll concur. Item B, agreement with Nice Engineering, Inc. for engineering supervision in the 3rd District Local Streets Construction Observation, 2019, 167th Street, Indianapolis Boulevard to Woodmar Avenue. This is the agreement that goes along with the acceptance of the funding in item A.
Okay. My recommendations, we approve the agreement with Nice Engineering.
And I'll concur. Item C, contract with Grimmer Construction. Contract with Grimmer Construction, Inc. for 167th Street North Sidewalk Addition, Indianapolis Boulevard to Woodmar Avenue. This is the contract that goes with the agreement that went with the correspondence from item A.
I recommend we approve the contract with Grimmer Construction.
And I'll concur. Oops. Item D, agreement with VS Engineering for engineering services in decorative street lighting and sidewalk, curb ramps, improvements on Cedar Avenue, Pine Avenue, Millennium Court, Wilcox Street, Roosevelt Street, Indiana Street, Truman Street, and Birch Street / Atlas Street. Chris, have you been able, Jonathan? Have you
I'm sorry, what are we on?
D.
We're on item D. Agreement with VS Engineering,
The design.
Okay,
street lighting.
okay, yeah, I guess I did look at it.
Good.
Okay.
And just to let you know, item X is the funding source for this contract, just later in the agenda.
Okay.
Okay, all right.
Okay. My recommendation is that we approve the agreement with VS Engineering.
And I'll concur. Item E, correspondence received from NIPSCO requesting permission to install gas service at 242 Doty Street. Okay, yeah.
Okay. My recommendations, we approve that request from NIPSCO.
And I'll concur. Item F, correspondence received from Councilman Bill Emerson Sr. requesting $31,900 of gaming funds be allocated for a design contract with First Group Engineering. His request has been signed by himself as well as the mayor.
Okay, I think we should approve Councilman Emerson's request.
And I'll concur. Item G, correspondence received from Councilman Bill Emerson requesting $822,000 of gaming funds be allocated for the 2019 overlay program. His request has been signed by himself as well as the mayor.
Recommendations to approve Councilman Emerson's request.
And I'll concur. Item H, Correspondence received from Councilman Scott Rakos requesting $42,800 of gaming funds be allocated for a design contract with SEH. His request has been signed by himself as well as the mayor.
And I recommend that we approve Councilman Rakos' request.
And I'll concur. Item I, correspondence received from Chief of Police John Doty requesting Taylor Hensley, Danielle Villagomez, Tyler Cruzen, Raymond Velez, Jesse Escamilla Jr., and Xavier Rialo be appointed as probationer members of the Hammond Police Department to serve their one-year probationary period effective April 25th, 2019. The resignation of Officer Jamie Garcia effective April 25th, 2019. Approval of street closures of 173rd Avenue by Purdue University Northwest and disposal authorizations. Oh, my. I'll take half. How's that?
I'll take them.
Oh, good Lord.
The street closings, sir, is that just one lane or is that complete?
I thought that was all four, all lanes.
They are going to close it completely?
I believe that's what Mark Gorders told us last week. Yep. The truck routes will be the Boulevard and in Kennedy. Residential traffic's just going to use the side streets, Woodmar and the others. So they can get it done faster.
Okay, thank you.
I recommend that we approve Chief Doty's request.
And I'll concur with that. Here we go. Make some room here because I gotta do some writing here. Item J, demolition hearings on property located at 7337 Carolina Avenue front, 4414 Clark Avenue front and garage, 38 Condit Street garage, 244 Detroit Street rear.
We could just go, we'll just do
One at a time?
Yeah, do one at a
Got
time.
it.
It'll be-
Thank you very
Well, we
much.
got a lot of people here,
Thank
so-
you very much.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Morning.
It's a two-man show today.
7337 Carolina Avenue?
Yes, Mr. President, 7337 Carolina. Is anyone here on that? We have the owners, the Guerras. You may know this address because you may recall there was a fire at this address. It was about a year ago, May 2018. It's still boarded up. Utilities have been cut. There are large holes in the roof, melted siding. There's a lot of debris in the yard. Obviously, we had hoped that it would have been cleaned up by now, but it's not. And it's becoming a bit of a nuisance in the neighborhood. So the city's position, of course, is to enter the demolition order. I have some photos for the board. There we go. Yep. Ma'am, are you the owner? What's your name?
Heather Guerra.
Heather Guerra? Okay, and do these accurately reflect the condition of the home after the fire?
I don't know who put all this there,
Well, the city didn't.
no, I know you didn't.
Yep,
I don't know if someone's been in there.
but this is the house.
Yeah, that's the back of the house.
Okay, let me just show these to the board. And you can go ahead and address the city's request for the demolition, maybe give us an update on what's going on with the rehab.
Hi,
Okay? Go ahead.
I'll be the one to speak on her behalf. My name is Margarita. This is my mother-in-law. And the reason why I'm speaking for her is because I was trying to explain that right now at the moment, she doesn't have the income because she was on Social Security and she's in the process of getting it back. We're slowly but surely fixing the home, but we can't fix it all at once. We just need a little bit more time.
The outside,
As well, she didn't lost her husband, not even 6 months after this fire had started, before this fire had started.
The problem I see, though, is this has been a year now. It was May last year that nothing's been done. Now people are throwing junk in the yard. I say we should enter the order to demolish And that sort of will basically, hopefully motivate some real progress, because I don't want to come back a year from now and have it still look like this.
You won't, ma'am. I promise you that.
What have
Give
you
you my
done
word.
since you got the notice? You
We
kept-
did the inside, ma'am. We started with the
Do you have
inside.
have
permits
permits?
pulled?
No, I'm talking about as far as cleaning up. We did, yeah, the inside.
Usually, for the board, usually what we do in this situation, it's not that we want to knock on anyone's house, but what we want to do is make sure we keep them on task. So we would, of course, request the order be entered. If Ms. Guerra and her family will get an inspection between now and the time we bid out the work, which is about 8 weeks, you'll have an opportunity to pay the $150 to the building department and the inspections department, Mr. Kearney's and Mr. Prieto, their department right here. They will get an inspection scheduled. You can get the inspection scheduled, we can enter a rehab agreement.
Okay.
Okay?
That works.
So,
That
okay,
works.
you have no objection to that plan?
Okay.
All right, request to enter the order.
My recommendation then is that we approve the demolition agreement at 7337 Carroll.
What he's saying, he's not, you're not, he's, what he's saying to you, Ma, he's gonna give you a little bit of time,
concur.
8 weeks. You gotta have, an estimate between the city, we pay that 150, and then we can start rehabbing it, and they would give us more time, is what he's trying to explain to you.
I don't think that's what he said.
Yeah, that's what we
Yeah.
said. We're gonna give you
Yeah.
time.
Yeah, we
Yeah,
can give
We're
you
gonna enter
time.
the order and you're gonna get an inspection.
All you have to do is just get the inspection, and then we're good, okay?
All right? Thank you.
I need
You'll get a
this?
copy. No, you'll get a copy of the order. We'll send it to you.
Okay, thank you guys
Do
so
we have a
much.
good
Thank you.
address?
Thank you.
What address
Thank you.
are you getting service at?
70,
Well, no, there's no service there.
no, talking about as far as.
What address do you want us to
Mail.
send you mail?
Oh, 415 Prairie Street in Crown Point.
Okay, thank you. All right. 4414 Clark Avenue, 4414 Clark. Mr. President and Board, we do have service. The photos show this is the front and the garage, by the way. The photos show a frame residence with a failing roof, crumbling foundation, boarded up windows, and failing brick in the rear garage area. There's a lot of debris in the rear. I believe that you guys are familiar with the property. We do have good service. We'd request the order be entered and affirmed as presented.
Okay. There's nobody here to argue otherwise, right?
Nope.
Okay.
No one
My
appeared.
recommendation is we approve the demolition agreement.
And I'll concur.
38 Condit is a garage only. The White Family Trust is the, White Family Trust is listed as the owner. The photos show a brick garage with a completely collapsed roof. This gentleman, are you a part of the White Family Trust?
Yeah, I'm Anthony White.
Anthony White, okay. Is this what it used to look like?
That's what it used to look like.
What are we
yes.
looking like today? This is exciting.
This is what it's looking like today.
It's,
It's gone.
it is gone. All right.
It is
The
Garage is gone?
the
Yes.
garage is gone. The White Family Trust is self-demoed. The city will withdraw its demolition request. Thank you, sir, for coming in and tearing it down.
Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Appreciate it.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Happy story. All right, 244 Detroit Street rear. The owner is listed as Ortega. I don't know if anyone's here. Good
Yeah,
morning.
we've already taken steps to start getting.
Well, hold on. I need to set the record. So are you Mr. Ortega?
No, I'm her son,
Okay, do you live at the address? 244 Detroit Street,
Yes.
your first name?
Ken.
Kenneth Ortega? All right, is this the condition of the garage?
Yes.
All right, I need to show the board
Okay.
that. As you can see, board, that by the condition of the garage, it's absolutely failed. This too, I can show you more.
Is that chimney?
It's absolutely failed. I don't believe there's really any chance of restoration or reconstruction of this except for a total demolition.
Yeah, we're in the process.
So you can tell the board what you're trying to do.
Okay, we're in the process of taking it down to make sure we're in compliance with the city code. So we're in the process right now of doing it. We just lost a few days with the weather, but we're going to get right back on track with the nice weather here.
And you know you need a permit. You need to get a permit, right?
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
You need to make sure you apply, don't start doing the work without a permit.
Okay,
So you got to go downstairs to apply for a permit, that you're going to demolish your garage. I don't
Okay.
know, you might want to talk to the Mr. Kearney or Mr. Prieto about getting a contractor to help you, but that's up to you.
okay.
So we would request the order be entered.
Okay. Mr. Ortega, you understand that we're going to enter the order today. We just still have about 8 weeks to accomplish
Sure,
what you want to
sure.
accomplish.
Yeah,
Just
I
make
just
sure
got
you
to
do it
get
the right way.
Yeah, get the permit and we'll get everything
Correct.
going.
Okay.
Make sure we're in compliance with Hammond.
Okay.
Okay,
My
thank-
recommendation is to approve the demolition order for 244 Detroit Street.
And I'll concur.
So I just go get a permit now? then?
Well, you need to do, yeah, you'll need to go down there and they'll explain the process to you.
Okay.
Okay?
Okay, thank you.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. everyone.
All right, we hope to get it down, right?
Oh, most definitely. We'll be done.
Great. 1020 Drackert Street, front and garage, 1020 Drackert.
I'm done now.
Mr. President, we do have the owner listed as the Pollards. The photos show an overgrown vacant frame house with a collapsing front roof, missing soffit and fascia, and a hole in the door. Show you those here. This is over on Drackert Street, right here near City Hall. No service is the property since 2011, and the garage roof seems to have collapsed. We do have service on an entity with an interest in the property, the bank. We would request that the order be entered as presented. No one appears.
Good. I will recommend that we approve the order for 1020 Drackert Street.
And I'll concur.
1242-44 Hoffman Street. This was owned by Dan Reed. He passed away, and then there was a fire. This is on 1242-44 Hoffman. There's been, the fire we have listed is August 2018. I don't believe anyone's appeared. We do have good service. We would request that the order be entered as presented. Mr. Margaret, you may remember this.
I do.
Okay. I'm going to make a recommendation to approve the demolition order for 1242 and 44 Hoffman Street.
And I'll affirm the order.
4339 Holman Avenue, rear and garage. I believe that Mr. Kovachkov is here on behalf. Next one?
He's got that other home in.
I'm sorry, there's two Homans. 4339 Holman. Marikis is the owner, 4339 Holman. We do have service. The photos show a vacant frame house and garage filled with debris. There's rotting wood, windows and doors, and siding is missing. We would request that the demolition order be affirmed as presented. No one appears.
My recommendation to is affirm the demolition order for 4339 Holman Avenue.
And I'll concur with that.
4619 Holman Avenue. This is the one Mr. Kovachkov is here. He has indicated to Ms. Cantor and myself that he represents the new owners. They just entered a purchase agreement. It's a land trust, and they have the intention of wishing to rehab the property.
Okay.
So that's good news. I've explained to Mr. Kovachkov that the city's position in these situations is to enter the order, but of course we'll stay any enforcement of that until we have a chance to allow him to get an inspection, get a rehab agreement in place. We'll move forward with bidding out the work, but we won't award it provided by the next time we come before you that he's that everything's moving along. I don't think he has any objection to that.
No, there's no objection. That's correct. My clients bought this property April 12th. Found this little surprise when they tried to pull a permit. So they're ready to rehab. We just need to work with the city to get the rehab agreement put in place.
All right.
Okay.
Very well.
Okay, then my recommendation is to affirm the order for 4619 Holman Avenue.
And I'll concur. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, page 2. 1344 Indiana Street, front and garage. 1344 Indiana. Hi. We have the owner listed as a Mr. Uzdanovich. That's you. All right. So I just have to set a record here, sir, and then you'll have a chance to talk. Photos show a frame house with a failing roof, collapsing porch, and collapsed garage. No power to the property. Siding has failed in places, and the yard is overgrown. We did achieve good service, as Mr. Uzdanovich, of course, is here. Is this the condition of the property? That is the condition. Okay. And how long have you owned the property?
All my life.
All your life. Do you live there?
No, I don't.
Where do you live?
I live at my sister's house.
What city?
Hammond.
Oh.
See,
You can tell them.
Go ahead, sir.
put in a thing for a personal loan, and I got approved Tuesday. And then I go today to sign the papers, and I'll have it tore down, the house and the garage both. But
Okay.
it'll take time for NIPSCO's got to come out and put that, take that line out, but get gas.
So your intention, sir, is to get it demolished?
Oh, yeah, I
Demolished?
wanna-
Okay.
yeah.
So you don't have any problem with us entering the order, and then it'll be set over, and then that, in the meantime, hopefully you'll demolish it, we'll know it's demolished, and then everything will be fine. You got to get permits. You heard earlier, right? You got to make sure you get permits.
Contractor get permits?
Yes, the contractor goes and gets permits with the inspections department
How
downstairs.
much time do I have before, you know?
Well, you'll have 8 weeks till we bid it
Okay.
out, so.
Well, it'll be done by then.
All right. No objection to entering the order, I don't believe.
Okay.
Thank you, sir. Thanks for coming in.
Thank you.
My recommendation is to affirm the order.
And I'll concur with that.
One more.
Information?
Yeah.
I got this from East Chicago.
Oh, yeah. I know.
Do I have to go to that?
You don't got to go to that. No, you're good. You had the wrong
thank
notice.
you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Good one.
Showed up, but I didn't board.
Of course. He's Falcon. Yeah, he's like, and do I have to go to Chicago too?
I'll go there too.
2021 Lake Avenue. I believe that Mr. Del Santo is here on this. The owner is listed as a Mr. Purahach, I believe. Photos show a brick house with boarded-up windows, and a large part of the roof has slid off onto the driveway, which is in bad shape as well. It was marked inhabitable back in 2016. I've showed Mr. Del Santo the pictures and the photographs. He's represented that this is the property at issue.
It's fixable.
It's not in real bad shape.
I've done an inspection.
Obviously, been getting some complaints.
You should
from
see some of
neighbors.
these.
Similar to what I had discussed with Mr. Kavachkov, the city's request would be to enter the order. It would be stayed to allow the owner to get an inspection and to enter into a rehab agreement on the property. I don't think there's an objection by Mr. Del Santo.
We're fine with that.
Good? Okay.
And as soon as the rehab is completed, we will rescind the order, so he'll have clean title and he can sign it.
Yeah.
He's just got to get it fixed.
Are we okay giving you service of anything?
That's what I was
Okay.
going to ask. We would ask that it be served on me.
Yep.
No problem.
That's what we'll do.
Okay, then that's my recommendation that we affirm the order for 2021 Lake Street.
And I'll concur with that.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, if you have any problems, just call.
Thanks, Jim. All right.
See?
1940 Lincoln Avenue front and garage. 1940 Lincoln. Owners listed as Franklin. Photos show a two-story frame house with open windows and debris in yard, and a garage with a failed roof and a hole in the door. Property is marked uninhabitable. This is my service. Okay. We would request the order be entered as presented. Service has been attempted.
Okay, that's my recommendation then to affirm the order of 1940 Lincoln Avenue.
And I'll concur.
We just won't tear it down.
7728 Linden Avenue. 7728 Linden. We do have service on the owners, which I believe they live in Wheatfield. Mrs. Bright. Photos show a frame house full of junk across from the Optimist baseball complex. The ceiling inside has collapsed. City has been cutting the grass since 16. The water's been off since 16. House has been broken into recently, resulting in board ups. We do have photos. It's pretty obvious that the building's in bad shape. There is potential for a rehab on this, but at this point, having good service, we would request that the board enter the order and affirm it. We do have good service.
Okay, that's my recommendation. We affirm the order for 7728 Linden Avenue.
And I'll concur.
911 Lyons Street, garage only. Looks like the Davises might be here. All right. The owner's listed as Davis. Photos show a brick garage and an overgrown yard with a collapsed roof. There's graffiti, at least at the time this was taken, over the garage door and debris. Are you Miss Davis?
Yes.
Hi. Do you live in the house up
Yes.
front? And this is the garage, right? Okay, are these pretty much accurate photos of the garage? Okay, I'm going to show these to the board, and then you address the board or anything you'd like to tell.
Good morning, ma'am.
Good morning.
You're just talking to the mic.
Good morning.
Yeah.
Come on.
No, go right
No,
ahead.
don't worry,
Yeah.
everything's cool.
Yeah.
We're trying to tear it down.
Okay, let me show them
Okay, and I
that.
got my permit and,
Wow, it's in worse shape than we had it even. Wow, okay. Things have progressed.
Okay.
and I got the permit and, the house with the dumpster and stuff. It's just-
It looks like Ms. Davis does have a building permit that she's applied for the demolition. Are you trying to, you've hired someone to demolish
Yes,
it?
we've been tearing it down.
Okay,
So this is on purpose then, right? They're demolishing? Yeah, we're tearing. Okay.
Yes.
it wasn't the rain or
No, the
anything.
rain,
Yeah, with the rain, yeah.
All right, so you're in the process of tearing it down.
Yes.
So what we'll do is we're going to enter the order to demolish. As long as you proceed with getting it done, it'll get removed and it won't be on your record or anything.
Okay.
Okay? All right, thank you for getting that done for us.
Thank you.
We'll get you the photos?
That's okay, I got double.
Sure.
All right, we'll put them in our
Oh, yeah, I'll put it in the file.
Thank
Okay.
you.
Oh,
The
no problem.
recommendations that we affirm the order for 911 Lions.
And I'll concur.
Maybe we should enter the order and just sit up.
Yeah, that's what we're going to do. We're going to enter it in.
Oh, there's a car.
Yeah,
Yeah, save the car.
save it. 1111 Lyons, couple blocks up. The Treadwells own that property. Hi. This is a garage-only situation as well. It's a large frame garage behind a fence, which appears to be in bad shape as well, in an overgrown yard. Are you Mr. Treadwell?
Yes.
Hi. Got other visitors? Hi. The bank as well?
The bank as well.
Okay.
All right, and the bank's here. So this is just for the garage, not the house. Mr. Treadwell, do these accurately reflect the condition of the property, at least on January 3rd of 2019 when they were taken?
Yes.
All right, I'm going to show those to the board, and of course, you can address the board. Go right ahead.
Morning, sir.
Good morning.
Good morning.
This is the current condition.
Okay, we'll show that to
Stripped
the board.
everything down. This is the contractor who will be doing the work for the repairs, and
Already started
He's
on?
got Darren, he's got Darren, it'll get done.
You have a permit yet?
yes, I do have the building permit. Here,
Okay, great. Mr. Treadwell showing me a building permit picking up.
this was also the dumpster.
So taking on
I've
the first
stripped
17.
everything down, everything is completely
So your
clean, they
intention
cleared
is
it
to
out.
get it
repaired.
repaired?
Yes.
Okay, here to rehab it. Okay.
Yes.
So what we usually do in that situation is we will enter the order.
Right.
We won't do anything with the order. We won't even bid out the work probably, and as long as you're going ahead forward with the work, and the city's okay, it looks like you've already done everything, pulling permits properly and things like that, so we should be fine. We just request the order be entered. Do you have any objection to that?
No.
Okay. Do you guys want to be heard on anything, or?
Nothing further.
Bank's happy? Everyone's happy?
My recommendations, we affirm
Thank you,
the
sir.
order for 1111 Lyons.
And I'll concur. Thank you.
244, also known as 240 Marble Street. The owner's listed as Escutia. Hi. Good. The photos show a frame and brick house with a tarp covering the front. The windows are open and the roof seems to be missing on one side. The water has been off since 2008, at least according to the city, so 11 years of no service. We're going to show you a couple photos here. Are you Mr. Escutia?
My father, I'm his dad's
Hi,
son.
okay, all right. So we have Mr. Escutia here and his son. What's your name?
Sergio.
Sergio. And are these, is this the condition of the property?
At the moment, yes.
Okay, yep, and it sounds, I think your dad might live next door?
Yes.
Does that make sense? Okay, he lives next door. Did he buy this a while ago?
Yes.
With the intention of fixing it up?
Intention of fixing it correct.
Just hasn't got around to it, I think. And that's kind of the issue, is that, obviously it's been sitting in that condition for a while.
Okay.
And we need to know what your dad's intentions are, otherwise we need to knock it down.
Okay, the intentions of when he first bought it were to fix it, but, the water builds up so bad. He was fixing it, there was a permit. He was, fixing it, but the water was building up so bad that he was like, then the neighbor put gravel, so the water just fills up and the basement floods all the time.
So it sounds like it might have to get knocked down. It's not in good shape.
But I mean, if he wants to fix it, he wants to fix it, but if he wants to fix it, we can go ahead and fix it, just time.
And money.
And money.
And sometimes it's best intentions, but it never gets done, and I think that's our concern at this point since it's been off. I mean, he hasn't had water since '08. How long has he owned it? Since around that time? 10 years? Yeah.
So,
If you want, okay, so here's the options. We're going to request that the board enter the demolition order. If he seriously wants to fix it up, he's going to have to get an inspection through the inspections department, pay $150 to get the inspection. They'll do a report. We'll enter a rehab agreement with him, but if he doesn't keep to it, we're going to knock it down.
okay. At the moment,
Mm-hmm.
at the moment, there's currently a West Lake Corridor project, and the house falls in that project. So right now, they're in the process of.
Have you gotten a notice that they want to
Yes,
buy it?
Yes, we got an inquiry, not yet.
Okay.
But, we got the.
They got the
From the South Shore, let me see.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, so I guess this is a notice to him that they may want to acquire the property as part of the Westlake. Yeah, this was back in 17, though.
Yeah, but the first thing,
They can still acquire it. The building's knocked down. You're just gonna sell
Yeah,
it.
they can still buy the property from you. Okay. I don't know if it's happening, not happening. It's hard to see from this. We can check for him. But we would request that the order be entered. And then if you want to rehab it, get an inspection. Just go down inspections and pay for the
But if the
inspection.
train's gonna take it, I wouldn't put a lot of
No.
money into it, just, you know.
Yeah, because, I mean, he bought the windows, we got the shingles. we
Okay.
got- But
Yeah, the main thing is the water, every time it rains, it goes in the house. Because there's no drain outside in the street. Because all the water comes from that side and this side, and all the water
Yeah,
goes
it just
in
sounds like it might need more than just a rehab. It looks like there might be some engineering issues there too to make sure.
You understand that either way you go, you have 8 weeks to
Yeah, we-
sell it or start rehabilitating it, one or the other. So we're going to affirm the order today, though. You understand that, right? Okay. That's my recommendation, that we affirm the order at 244 Marble Street.
Without concur.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you.
if you want to rehab it, go get an inspection.
Inspection?
Yep.
Okay,
Mhm.
thank you.
837 Morris Street, garage only. 837 Morris, the Span family.
Right behind you.
Oh, good morning, sir. All right, so are you Mr. Span?
Yes,
And you live at the property at 837 Morris?
yes, sir.
Okay. Is this the condition of the garage?
Yes, it is.
Okay. All right, the pictures, I believe, show a frame and brick house with, I'm sorry, the photos show a frame garage that is partially collapsed with a failed roof. I'm going to show the board those photos. Mr. Span, you can address the board and let them know what your intentions are regarding this condition. Our request is that the board affirm the order of demolition.
Good morning, sir.
Morning.
Plan to get a permit and demolish it.
Yourself, you're planning on knocking it down? Okay.
For 8 weeks, that
Should be enough? Okay, so we'd request that the board affirm the order, and hopefully they'll have it knocked down by the time we bid out the work.
Okay.
Could I ask if I'm in the process of doing it but not quite finished, would I still have to?
As long as, so the inspections department always gives us updates at the time we bid out the work, which is about 8 weeks from now. They may say like, oh, permits have been pulled, things like that. It started to get knocked down. If that's the case, we'll probably just allow you to continue on knocking it down.
Okay.
All right?
Okay. Okay.
Thank you.
My recommendation then is we approve affirm the order for 837 Morris Street.
I'll concur with that.
903 Morris Street, garage only. Anderson is the owner, 903 Morris? Okay. Nice house. So this is garage only. The house appears to be in great shape, very nice house here. But is that your house?
No.
No? All right.
Well, that is going to be because I'm waiting for the deed.
Okay, so we have the owners listed as Anderson. Are you the Andersons?
No.
No. You are the Romans. Okay, so this is Alberto Roman?
Yes.
Okay, and are you the contract, you have a contract to buy it with them? Tax sale?
Yeah.
You bought it on tax sale. Okay, so they don't have any real owner. When did you buy it on tax sale?
A year ago?
Have you sent the notices out? Have you had the hearing yet?
Yeah, we're just waiting for the deed.
Waiting for the deed?
Yeah.
Okay. So you understand the condition of the garage?
Yes.
Has a hole in it?
Yes.
So I'm going to show the board the photographs. You can see the house. The garage is nice.
Oh, the house is nice.
House is in good shape,
Yeah.
right? No, I don't want to buy it. I got enough problems with my house. Well, it sounds like the Romans might not be moving in, but they are going to have possession of the property soon via tax deed. They were listed as the tax deed owner. In these situations, we always request that the board enter the order because sometimes tax deeds don't get recorded, the owner never takes it, other problems. So if they are going to take possession through a deed soon, that's great. We would just ask that you proceed with getting the garage fixed when you get it.
Yeah.
Okay, and if the garage gets fixed, we won't demolish it. If it doesn't get fixed, we're going to have to knock it down. So we would request the order be affirmed.
You understand that, correct? Okay.
Well, yeah, 8 weeks until we bid out the work. If you don't have it by then, just, get a hold of us, let us know what the status is. If you have a lawyer, let them, have them contact us, things like that, so.
Because we got other properties, we got the deeds already from the other properties, so we're just waiting for that.
I know that they're a little bit backed up at the county, because I've got a deed, they told me yesterday is going to be 2 months, so, yeah. So it's just a matter of getting in the line and whenever they issue the
Yeah, we're
deed.
willing to fix it.
Okay.
Okay, then I'm going to recommend that we affirm the order for, that was 903?
Yes.
Morris? 903 Morris.
I'll concur.
Thank you.
Thank you.
She said 8 weeks?
Yeah, you'll get another notice. That'll give you another date,
Oh, no,
and then you'll
okay.
give us an update by then. Okay?
Thank you.
Thank you.
1509 Myrtle, front, 1509 Myrtle. All right, we have the owners listed as either Dusa or Busa. Not sure which, but we'll find out soon enough. No, they're not here on that. Nobody here on this one? 1509 Myrtle. All right, no one appears. We do have some service on this property. Photos show a vacant brick house with failing steps and a roof, overgrown with lots of debris on the property, which look like roof shingles on the yard, so the roof's failing. We'd request that the order be affirmed as presented. We do have some service on this property.
Okay, that's my recommendation to affirm the order, 1509 Myrtle Avenue.
I'm sorry.
And I'll concur.
4140 Sheffield Avenue front. The owner is listed as Simakowski. Yes, I believe the bank is here. The photos show a vacant boarded-up frame house marked uninhabitable due to some infestation of fleas. Some windows are open to the elements. We do have service on the bank. They're here, which is good news. And we would request that the order be entered. You seen these photos? Yeah, okay. All right. I'm not sure if the bank is.
Go ahead.
All right, this one actually goes to sheriff's sale tomorrow. Based on the condition of the property, I wouldn't be surprised if the bank is the only bidder. So I am anticipating that the bank gets the house back on the evening of tomorrow, Friday. So basically at this point, we've seen the property. We've actually had people check it out to see the cost of repairs. It doesn't look like it's going to be feasible. So the bank is probably just going to look to demolish the property itself before the city. So if the order is going to get entered, this house is going to come down.
Okay, so you have no objection to entering? Okay.
No.
My recommendation is we affirm the order for 4140 Sheffield.
And I'll concur.
Thank you, sir.
Thank
Do you have a card?
Sure.
We can at least get you.
Thank you. 629 Sibley Street. 629 Sibley, hi. Mr. Kwiatkowski? No.
Thank you.
You're here on behalf of First National Assets. Chris, we have, this is 629 Sibley. This is a property, nice, large brick multifamily property. It's fallen into disrepair. It's boarded up. There's a lot of debris in the yard. The windows are all boarded up, and it's been abandoned. There's looks like there's been some break-ins. Yeah, and there's a hot tub in the backyard as well.
Okay, so, wait,
And sir, your name, could you please introduce yourself?
My name is Wesley Swanson. I'm on behalf of First National Assets.
Morning, Mr. Swanson.
Morning.
First National Assets. Is that FNA Indiana LLC? Yeah.
I believe so.
Out of Chicago?
Yes.
Okay, and what's your position with them?
They were hoping that they would get 3 weeks to confirm the buyer so we can rehab it.
Okay, so what we would do in that situation, sir, and can we get your name? Chris, did you give his name?
Rusty Swanson?
Wesley.
Wesley,
Oh,
sorry.
W-E-S-L.
Maybe you can give her your phone number after.
Do you
just
have
so
a
we can.
card? Do you have a business card?
So what we would request from the board is that the board enter the order of demolition. It sounds like the new owners or FNA may want to rehab it. If that's the case, they can get an inspection and begin the rehab process, but we would like the order entered to keep the process moving forward.
You understand that, sir? Okay. My recommendation is we affirm the order for 629 Sibley Street.
And I'll concur.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Very much.
Thank you. Yeah, just give her maybe a phone number or some contact. Next is 1251 Stanton front only. 1251 Stanton. The Roberts are listed as the owners. Photos show a boarded up frame house with fire damage. But it looks like some work has been done on it. I'm surprised the Roberts aren't here, but there is fire damage. We do have some service, and service has been attempted. We would request the order be affirmed as presented.
Nobody here to argue otherwise, so my recommendation is to affirm the order of 1251 Stanton Avenue.
And I'll concur.
Last matter before the board today, as far as demolitions are concerned, is 544 Waltham Street. The owner's listed as Bailey. The photos show a boarded up brick house with fire damage. The fire we have is April 2018, so over a year, and lots of debris in the back porch from the fire. The owner is deceased, not from the fire though, but passed away. So we would request that the order be entered and affirmed as presented. We do have service.
Okay. My recommendation is to affirm the order of 544 Waltham.
And I'll concur with that.
Thank you, board.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Sounds good.
Okay. Item K, status hearing on property located at 7222 Jackson.
7222 Jackson. The ongoing saga. Evidently, this house is being occupied. We do not have any final inspections from the order to demolish. So we're going to try to get that set up, go in and do the finals, and hopefully we can go ahead and get this off the list once and for all. I'd like to extend this 30 days so we can do the final inspection.
Kelly, can we just make sure she's not with that?
7222 Jackson? No.
Okay, sorry.
Sorry. Continuous 30 days and so we can set up that final inspection.
What are we going to June 6th or something? Okay. I'm going to recommend that we set that over for status for June 6th, 2019.
Very much, thank you.
And I'll concur with that.
Excuse me. June 6th, we will be at the Realtors Breakfast. When we, President Board of Works.
Okay, can we make it June 13th then? Okay, we'll make it for June 13th, 2019?
Very well.
Okay.
And I will concur with that. Item L, notice of violation hearing on property located at 618 119th Street.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
Morning.
Situation is, the house was gutted, it was going to be rehabbed. My understanding is there's portions of the house that do not have a foundation.
Correct.
And it kind of put everything to a halt. If you could tell us where you're at and what's the next steps you're going to...
Yeah, my name is Gerardo Ulloa. I'm one of the owners of the property. Yes, so we acquired the property a couple years ago with the intent to rehab, but we were working on some other projects. But last year, we submitted drawings, got our building permits, pulled demo permits late last year with the intent of demoing about 20-25% of the building as we understood that needed to be done. As projects go, the building is just, it's just not economically feasible to rehab in its current state. Every time we kept demoing a little bit more, we just kept finding just more and more. There's multiple foundations. There's sections of the house that didn't have foundations. None of the foundations are tied into each other. I've got a foundation in the kitchen, for example, that's sitting on a wood floor over dirt. It's just, yeah. So it was our intent, and we were beginning to pursue to just completely demo the structure when we received the notice of violations. I already have a contract with Cayoba Properties, a recognized contractor with the City of Hammond, and our demo permit, I believe, is still valid from that we pulled late last year. And yeah, we were going to actually get started on it until we were told stop and come to this hearing. So with weather being what it is, if we get a nice, good 2 days, we should have the rest of that structure down.
Would that be able to be demolished in 30 days?
Absolutely.
We have a status for the June 13th?
Same date.
Same day, and,
Is this emergency demo?
yes.
I mean, do we want to enter a demolition order, or do we count on him to do it? It's obviously sat like this for a long time.
I'm confident they will do the work. But
Yeah, we stopped working on it in January, and then we began to look at options about getting out, and then the weather turned, and then personal issues took over, and as I said, we started looking at it again in April. So our intent is to just get it all done quickly.
In typical procedure, the board would affirm the demolition, and we won't interfere. He has more than enough time to do the demolition in that time. It wouldn't affect anywhere on you other than the fact that our process continues while you're doing work.
Understood.
You understand that it protects the city in case.
Oh,
you
I
don't do
understand
it?
100%.
Okay. Then my recommendation is that we affirm the demolition order for 618 119th Street.
And I'll concur.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Good luck.
Okay, item M, rental registration hearing on property located at 7529 Monroe Avenue.
Good morning, ma'am.
Good morning. My name is Zhenju Xie. I'm the owner of the property.
Okay.
So what we have here
This has, excuse me, let me get my notes. Okay. We have water showing usage in 2018, 2019. This is one unit. 2017 was vacant. There was some work being done on the house. So what we're looking at is rental registration for 2018 and 2019.
And no issues?
No issues.
Yeah, I started rental business 2007, so it's been 12 years, and I'm managing right now, year by year, we increase the rentals. So I'm managing like 38 rentals, but this is the first time I missed. I was surprised when the downstairs told me I didn't register this Monroe house. I was a little surprised because normally I go through listing and do registration for 12 years. So this is the first time, so I'm asking if we can reduce the penalty.
Okay, my recommendation is going to be to waive the late fees for those years. Just make sure that.
Yeah, I will.
Do it
I will
again,
make
okay?
sure every year I do.
Okay, then that's my recommendation, to waive
Thank
the
you
late
very
fees for
much.
both years, and she.
One year?
1 year.
2018, oh, yeah, I thought she did.
2018 and 2009, so, right. She was not allowed to register in 2019 because of 2018.
Okay, ma'am, you can do that at the conclusion of today's meeting if you wish, if you want to stay here.
What?
You can register.
You can register the.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Okay, that's my
She'll
recommendation.
give you a card at the end of the meeting.
I go down-
concur with
And then
that.
you go downstairs and
Okay.
register.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, I will do every year.
Okay.
From now on.
Please, thank you
Yeah,
very much.
thank
Okay.
you.
2018 and 2019,
Yeah.
right? Okay. Got that one done? All right. Item N, rental registration hearing on property located at 5418 Chestnut Avenue.
Good morning. I will be representing Mr. Hermosillo today as an interpreter.
Okay.
Okay, we have, this is a new owner as of August of 2018, Filiberto Rosales, correct? Okay. So he purchased the property in 2018. It's one unit. He did not register in 2018, nor in 19. We do have water usage in December of 2018, so we are led to believe that someone was living there as well as this year.
Okay.
Okay. So, let me just, so la razón, dijeron que ya en diciembre ya tienen razones de que alguien está viviendo ahí por razones de uso de agua y porque fue la razón de que no la registraste en el 2018 ni en el 2019.
Okay, ¿todas las mías? Okay, la razón que cuando yo la compré, al principio yo me puse a pintar la casa y no la registré de renta porque no la tenía rentada. So yo pensé que tenía que ser hasta entrando el año, hasta en enero.
Pero cuando, if you want to tell them what he said.
Yes. So I bought the house on August. However, I started painting it, and my intentions was I did not know when I was going to register the house, and therefore.
¿Y si tenía gente en noviembre y diciembre?
En
Porque
enero.
tenemos que había
Okay.
Usado mucha agua en eso.
Porque yo estaba trabajando en la casa pintando y eso, pero yo la renté en enero.
Okay, so water usage was being used because I was working in the house, but I started renting in January.
Of this year.
Of 19.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, so you no issues, right?
No issues, no,
Okay.
no.
Well, because you said August of 2018 is when he bought it, right?
Yes, correct.
Okay. My recommendation is that we waive the late fee. You will register it for 2018 and 2019 at a cost of $5 per unit. And you can do that at the conclusion of today's meeting if you wish.
Okay, thank you very much.
Okay? Good?
2 years,
Love
18
you.
and 19?
I mean, 2 years, 18 and 19, correct?
Yes, correct.
Okay.
Love you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
I'll concur with that. Thank you.
Thank you. Have a good day.
Thank you.
Okay.
One unit.
Yeah.
Item O, rental registration hearing on property located at 6549 Colorado Avenue. Mr. Rudolph?
Raymond Rudolph.
Raymond Rudolph. Yes.
Mr. Rudolph purchased this property in 2017. It was registered then. We have water usage in May of 2018 and November of 2018. This is one unit. He was able to register for 2019. He only owes for 2018.
Morning, sir.
I bought the house to rehab it, to sell it. There's water in the basement. I figured it would be best not to try to sell it. I didn't think a bank would loan money on the house with the water problem I had. I lived in that house from like June. I don't even think, I thought it was more like August, July and August that I don't know how you got water.
When did you
I
start
rented the house out on March 1st. Here's the lease.
This year?
And, yeah, I registered 15 properties last year. I know that I can't register a property in the middle of the year without a lease, and here's the first lease. I didn't rent the house out until March 1st.
You rented the house out in 2017?
No, I didn't even, the house wasn't.
You registered it for 2017, but you never rented it out?
No, I didn't even own it.
Purchased it in 2017.
Okay, it wasn't, there were
In February of
permits, right,
2017.
there was no one living in the house.
So nobody's lived in a house until March of this year? Nobody's
I
rented
didn't
the-
rent it till.
That's what I'm
March
saying.
of this
Nobody's
year.
rented the house from you till March of
March
this year.
this year, and I registered it this year.
So you lived in it last year?
For like 2 months, and then my daughter was in there for like November and December for.
Who lives
here
at
and there.
4108 Grover?
I do now, and my daughter does. Her legal address is at 4108. I moved from Illinois. I stayed in that house, I believe, in July and August. But, I mean, like I said, it's never been rented out until this year.
So should we do 18 and 19 or just 19?
Well, I mean, if family was living in it in 18, he's got to do an
We have no-
affidavit, right?
Right, at that point, yeah, we'll ask for an affidavit.
Okay. So with proof of that, once we receive that affidavit that no, you didn't rent the
I mean,
apartment
it's
out.
me, what do you, I have to fill out an affidavit for myself?
He'll help you with that,
Yeah.
yes. Yes, so then my recommendation is, after you complete that affidavit, we'll obviously waive the fee for 2018, but you need to register the.
It already is.
Yeah,
I-
for 2018.
I did just register
And we're
for this
We're in
year.
good shape as long as you get with Jaime and make sure he gets the affidavit, okay?
How, with that affidavit, what do you say?
It's just a paper that says that it wasn't
I don't
rented out
need,
in
like-
2018.
Like, I don't need a driver's license with the address on it or nothing like that.
Well, just to show that you are the owner.
I don't have it, I mean.
No, not a driver's license, just to show that you are the owner.
The owner?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, then that's my recommendation, then. We, upon completion of the affidavit, that we waive
She'll give you a
the
card at the end, and then you go downstairs.
need to register, I suppose, right? Are we good with that?
Sorry, yes.
Once he completes the affidavit, there's no need to complete to pay the fee for 2018, correct? Okay.
I'll concur with that. For 18, 19, and 19, he's good.
Yeah.
6828 Arizona Avenue, rental registration.
Good morning, ma'am.
Good morning.
Please state your name
Oh,
and your address.
my name is Janet Tony Lavalier, and I live at 6828 Arizona. That's my house.
And your current address?
9603 Spring Street in Highland.
Okay.
We have this as, it was not registered in 2017, 2018, 2019. It was registered 2013, 14, 15, and 16. At that point, Ms. Tony entered into a lease agreement or a rent-to-own.
Yes. In 2013, I entered into a rent-to-own agreement with the person that was living there. They reneged on the agreement but wanted to stay there as a rental. So they did stay there through 2015 and 16. But in 16, I filed Chapter 13, and my lawyer told me in December not to take any more payments from them. So I didn't. And when I asked in 17 whether I should register. He said, well, you're not renting. They were living there trying to find a place to stay. In 2018, the bank sought to modify with me, so I started again in October of 18, taking rent, but the modification fell through. So very frankly, in 17, it wasn't being rented for most of the year. They were just living there. And then through 18, yes, they were renting, but I had a relapse. I have multiple sclerosis, and I just wasn't functioning very well. So I don't have an excuse for 18. I just wasn't functioning, and it's a mess. I'm losing the house. They have gone. They're no longer there. They left just yesterday, and so now the house is empty and it's not being rented. And so that's where we are.
Register for 19 because of 17 and 18, right?
And I didn't know. When I called, I got a little thing in the mail, and I called to find out about 18, and then they said, well, 17 as well. And I said, I wasn't getting any payments on it, so.
Did you at all enter any lease agreement with them?
In October of 2000 and, oh goodness. Oh, I have all of it here. I'm sorry. But no, at the beginning of 17, I didn't. And then at the end of 17, in October, I did in order to go through the modification. And this is it. This is the agreement.
Can I ask you what your intention is going forward, or you said you're losing the house?
Well, I can't afford it. I can't afford to pay for it, and I moved out of it in 13 because I'm physically unable to take care of it. So if I moved back, I couldn't care for it. It's a beautiful house, but I can't care for it.
Okay. My recommendation is to waive the late fees for 17 and 18. Just please keep in mind that if you do at some point rent it out, then make sure you pay the fee, okay?
It's going into foreclosure, so
God does miracles every day, so maybe something will happen. I'm just saying if it does happen, just keep that in mind, okay?
Thank you.
So my recommendation is to waive the fees for those years.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very
And
much.
I'll concur. So is that a dismissal?
Yeah, she'll afterwards? No.
17, 17.
Thank you.
Jaime, was 17 and 18?
Yes.
Okay. We don't need to do anything about 19?
At this point,
Okay.
Right.
So just 17 and 18, okay.
Right. Okay. And I'm concurring with that. So it's kind of like a, okay. All right, we're good.
Okay.
Yeah, we're good. Let's see here. Item Q, 1310 Stanton Avenue, runner registration. 1310 Stanton.
My name is Teresa Zawatsky, 1310 Stanton Avenue.
Good morning.
This is my husband.
good morning, I'm her husband, Edward. This is a 2-unit, owner occupies the first unit. The second unit has been registered previously, only owes for 2018.
And I just want, ever since they started the rental registration, I've paid every year, and we get the postcard in the mail, and, I send in the payment. And I don't know if I didn't get the postcard last year,
So it just
or
slipped
the
through the
mail,
cracks.
but I've paid every year, and
It's just 1 year, and we have no issues there, Jaime? Okay. My recommendation is to waive the late fee for 2018.
Thank you.
Today, conclusion of the meeting today, you can register that for $5 if you want to.
I've got it already. I took care of all that for 19.
That's my recommendation. And
Thank you very much.
And I'll concur.
Thank you. Have a great day.
Thank you. 2018, right?
Yep.
Item R, rental registration hearing on property located at 1312 171st Street.
Yes, sir. I'm Ellie Deanda, owner.
Good morning.
Property. Good morning.
Yes, 1312 171st Street. Was not registered in 2018, was registered previous, and they were able to register in 2019. So we're only looking for 1 year, 2018, 1 unit, no issues.
No issues. Okay.
We had a property manager for 15 years, and he just retired this year. So I'm the owner, my husband and I took over the property management of all the properties that we own. And I believe we have about 20 in Hammond. So when I registered it, they said, well, we didn't find it for last year. So I called my property manager who moved to Oregon, and he said, I don't know how that happened. So I really, excuse me, I don't know. I think it's just human error. Believe me, we wouldn't want to not register it. So I feel bad that was overlooked.
Okay. It's 1 year, no issue. So I'm going to waive the late fee for 2018.
Yes, sir.
And I'm sure you heard that at the conclusion of today's meeting, you can register that for a cost of $5.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
If I already registered 2019, do I still need to go downstairs and do
Yes,
that?
to register 2018.
18, okay. Okay, thank you.
I'll concur with that.
Thank you.
Item S, rental registration hearing on a property located at 223 Hanover Street.
State your name and your address.
My name is Louis Colazzo. I live in Romeoville, Illinois, but my property is 223 Hanover Street.
Good morning, sir.
My daughter rents the property now, and I was told downstairs that I could do an affidavit. She's been living in it for 2.5 years, but I continued to pay the, because it used to be a rental, but once they found out, because I fall under the West Corridor, North Lake Rehab, so it's one of the properties that's going to be consumed. I just wasted 10 grand on a roof, so, but the house is in great condition. My tenant found out, I'm leaving. So they moved out, my daughter moved in. She's been in it ever since. She'll wait till,
And this was registered previously as well as 2019, excuse me. We were just looking for 2018, that was never registered, nor an affidavit was filled out.
So you want the affidavit filled out?
Yes, if your daughter's been living there, do you have proof
Yes.
as far as her
yes.
living there?
That's what I was on the impression I could get an affidavit.
Right. If your daughter was living there, then you can sign an affidavit saying that
Okay.
your son, daughter, there's
Yes.
certain specifications.
Now, will I be able to send her to submit it for me?
You can do that
she
after.
can. Okay,
After this meeting.
okay.
Okay, because it's daughter, so at completion of the affidavit, there's no fees necessary?
No. There's certain stipulations that one can fill out an affidavit, and one is where he doesn't have to register or pay is immediate family. So
Okay.
son or daughter, you can state that on the affidavit, and we'll take that as 2018's registration.
Okay, so my recommendation, sir, is to complete the affidavit, and then after that completion, we will, fees, we won't have to pay the fees.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, I will continue to register it every year, though?
If your daughter is staying in the house, then every year you have to sign an affidavit.
Oh,
If
okay.
at any point your daughter leaves and you have a tenant going in there and you're collecting rent, you have to register it.
Yeah, no, I think she'll be there until South Shore consumes the property.
Okay, so you understand, then you have to
Yes.
complete the affidavit, okay.
Okay, then I'll just wait.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, now concur. Item T, correspondence received requesting rental registration hearings. How many are in here? Did you count them? You want to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There's 10.
July 18th and July 25th.
Okay.
Okay. My recommendation is that we set those rental registration hearings for July 18th, 2019, and July 25th, 2019.
And I'll concur. Item U, agreement to rehabilitate property located at 18 Elizabeth Street.
Hi, good afternoon, Board. It feels like we've been here that long. This is a property that was on the demolition list. If you remember, this was Mr. Latko's property. They had a fire back in 2015, and it basically has sat like that untouched. We entered a demolition order. He sold it. There's a new owner. New owner wants to enter a rehab agreement. I would ask the board to please approve the rehab agreement. And then once I receive a copy of it back, I can email it to his attorney, who's Jamie Over from Efron.
So we're affirming the rehab agreement? Okay. My recommendation is that we approve the rehab agreement.
And I'll concur. Okay. Item V, correspondence received from Ms. Eva Huerta requesting permission to hold a block party on Saturday, May 4, 2019, from 2 p.m. to 10 p.m. with street closure. This came up at last week's meeting, but we asked her to get her neighbor's signatures agreeing to the closure, which she has done.
She's pretty notorious, I don't know.
I'm going to approve her, Ms. Eva Herta's request. That's my recommendation.
And I'll concur. She's quite nonpareil, having no equal, if you ask me.
Quite the prodigy.
Item W, garage sale permit submitted for approval.
My recommendation is approve the garage sale permits.
And I will concur with that. Oh, this is from, like, other board members, this one? Correspondence received from Second District Councilman Pete Torres requesting $76,000 of gaming funds be allocated for the design contract with VS Engineering. He has signed his request, and the mayor has also signed it as well.
And I recommend we approve Councilman Torres' request.
And I'll concur. Matters from other board members, Mr. Long, anything?
No, sir.
Matters from other department heads and their representatives, Ms. Cantar? Ernie? Jaime? Nothing? New business, I see none. Old business, I see none. Meeting's open to the public. Anybody out here want to speak? Okay, I will entertain,
I make a recommendation to adjourn the meeting.
and I will concur.
Thank you, everyone.
But we got to, no, we gave them all back. Let me
Give them all
see.
back.
So 223, so this one here is an
Oh, I'm
F,
going to call them back. I can't answer it.
223 Hanover's an affidavit, right?
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Can I just write that on here?
Congratulations, by the way, too.
Do we get credit? Do we get double
Sorry,
credit?
we just got done with board.